Hello everybody, welcome to the first of many videos. I am Chef Trina Beena Mills here in Cincinnati, Ohio, by way of Chicago and New Orleans. You are going to be our guinea pig for the first of many videos, as I just said, to do some cooking demos, and then I'll be going live and we can talk about things, but I do want to get some videos and they'll be on YouTube and we'll share them as needed just to have a few little cooking techniques and do some different things. So this is a learn as you go production. I might have to coin that, learn as you go productions. And I like to thank my daughter Selena behind the camera. She's studying film, so she's working this out, and we're going to do some editing and have a nice video for you and hopefully keep it going. So the main thing I wanted to do today was just show a couple of cooking techniques. I didn't have a studio kitchen, so I did a little makeshift here, and I'm going to use an induction burner. So it's going to cook a little bit differently from an electric or a gas stove. We'll talk more about that and we can figure some stuff out. But it's easier just to do everything right here so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to do some braised thighs. So some videos have been going around and you've been seeing that. I've done it a lot. I do it a lot. Lots of recipes. Thighs are really good for those who are okay with keeping the skin on the chicken and things like that. So we'll do that with some veggies and some other things. And then I'm going to put together just kind of a bean salad just to have a nice little mix. And there's also extra protein. So the first thing with cooking, you're gonna always make sure you mise en place. So after you've done your shopping and everything, you want to kind of get your stuff together. You don't want anything in the steps, process, or preparation to kind of sneak up on you so that you're running around for something, stumbling around, or just kind of discombobulated. So kind of got things on the tray. I've got peppers, I've got some seasonings. Of course, all the seasonings mostly that you'll see me use are my seasonings, and we can talk about this some other time. Fresh herbs and veggies. The beans for the salad, these are canned and they've been drained. Some salt, freshly ground pepper. I'm going to cut up some stuff, and then here we've got, and I'll leave that up front there. It's important to not mix up and have cross-contamination of raw ingredients and cooked ingredients or prepared foods. So we'll be very careful there, and I'll wash my hands in between. Got the chicken thighs. I'm going to show you how to trim those up before we start, and then we'll get in the process. So the first thing I want to do is to start the cutting and chopping and mise en place. Got the oven preheating because the thighs are going to start off in here to get that browning going. Then we're going to finish them in the oven with the other stuff. And there is going to be an element of a little bit of alcohol here. You can always eliminate that if you don't drink or if you don't want it or you got kids eating the stuff. But this is a cooking alcohol. So, mise en place. First of all, you get your knife that you like. Sharp is always going to be safest. I had this onion that I've been using before. And so it's already kind of cut. But I'm just trimming off the ends of little pieces. So I'm not going to go through a real knife skills or anything like that because that'll take too long. But I just want you to see that I'm just prepping. So I want small onion pieces for here. So I'm just going to kind of chop that onion up. And I'm going to actually throw that in the dish that the chicken is going to go to. And then I'm going to start, I want to do slices just to have some nice texture and appearances for my peppers when the chicken thighs are in the oven. And they're going to be cooking from a cooking method that we call braising. Make sure you get all the seeds out. And that means just cooking with a little bit of liquid, not a whole lot. You're not boiling. And it's different from roasting because roasting would be a dry heat method where you're not using any extra liquid. I just got this nice, really inexpensive, but really, really convenient chopping board. So I do have bigger chopping boards, but I just wanted to be really quick with this one here. And I'm just getting some nice slices. I don't want them to lose their integrity while they cook because they'll be cooking long enough with the chicken thighs so that they'll be in the oven with the heat and liquids for a while. So now I'm cutting this two different ways. So that first way you saw I just went through the sides. The second way I'm cutting off the top, bottom, stable base. I'm going to kind of go around. This is the way that we actually teach in culinary school. And if you take classes, we'll show you this way. If you compost, throw, all this is stuff that you can compost, the pieces of pepper and onion. and then slices. Your slices, of course, you see peppers aren't all the same shape, so the slices aren't going to be the same. Somebody made a post about, you know, the little inside of the pepper. So, you know, some people thought that wasn't really common, but it really is kind of common. No biggie. It happens. It's nature. Grows that way. Again, remember, pre-wash all your veggies that you get from the store. These I washed and dried really well. Cutting up. And I'm going to make myself some space on the board. Clear off. And I actually, for this, I like the flavor of the different peppers. You actually have preferences. A lot of people don't like the strong flavor of green onions, so you can eliminate that altogether, but I like it. But if nothing else, just don't put a lot in there. So I am going to go with some of the sweeter peppers also, and then I like the color contrast. I just like the different colors, but I don't need a whole lot of peppers. That's why I'm not cutting up the whole peppers as I go through. So I am going to stop with this, and even as I'm cutting this, I can feel the juice kind of spraying out on my hand. That's a nice, good, fresh pepper. That's what you want. That's good. So some of this stuff is for the bean salad. It's not all for the chicken. So the chicken's pretty straightforward and simple. Now I do want to switch gears a little bit and move towards I'm going to throw this over here so that I can have a little bit more space to work with. I'm going to move over to where we have to be careful of cross-contamination to handle the raw chicken, because I want to show you something. And I'm actually going to, I've been working a lot with this knife, so I really need to sharpen it more. I am actually going to pull out a different knife for this. So it's another one of my favorites. So when you buy chicken, it's usually packaged, and we'll switch out boards or clean this board and everything before we go back to something else. You'll see all this extra skin and stuff. It'll be tucked so you can't see it when you buy it. What you want to do is make sure you get all of that off. You don't need that excess. You do want a nice piece of skin on the top, but you want to trim off all of that excess. I didn't touch anything else right there, but I should have had that dish ready. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that for each one, because each one I had that oil sitting there earlier because I kept spilling it every time I moved it. But that's just going to be the oil that we saw that we kind of browned the chicken in. So all of that excess we don't want. We just want nice top coat. And when you buy stuff that's already trimmed, the better trimmed or more prepared it is, the more it's going to cost. So just take the extra few minutes and you can do this yourself and save a few dollars. Okay, so that's all for trim. They were pre-washed. This is all just natural juices leaking onto the plate just from sitting here. You don't want it wet, so you do want to pat your chicken dry when you take it out of packaging, or some people like to rinse their stuff off. Make sure you pat it dry. That way you're not going to have a lot of popping, and you're going to get better browning. So I'm going to wash my hands. So while I wash my hands, how about you guys think of some questions. Now, this is not a live video, so we can't do a Q&A here, but any questions or comments, go ahead. I will be watching the posts as on the different pages and things that we'll have. So go ahead and type some questions or comments in there, and we can talk about it later or address it later. So I washed my hands because I'm going to go over here and just turn this on. So I'm just going to turn this on to a nice sear heat, medium high, on a gas or electric stove. And good thing about induction, it heats up and cools off really fast. So I have, this is some olive oil. And that's just the sound of the induction. And I'm going to actually move this to the sink. I had this piece of paper towel here. It was a little bit wet just to stabilize the cutting board, to keep the cutting board from sliding. So, we're going to do things just a little bit differently. I am going to, the chicken is a little bit wet, but not too wet. I'm just going to salt and pepper it. If I had a lot of chicken, I would season it all together and salt and pepper in like a bigger bowl or something. But I'm just showing you just a little bit. This is freshly ground pepper. So it was at the pepper grinder. But this keeps me from touching the pepper grinder while my hands were maybe dirty with something else. And then I have some smoked paprika. I am going to just kind of Go just because I like that smoky flavor. I don't want a whole lot. Just a little bit. So salt, pepper, smoked paprika. You can really do whatever you want. Any of the leatherwood spices from my line works well. I can make you some blends or customize. All right, that's getting hot. It was shimmering in the pan. That lets me know. I do want to make sure it's good and hot before you start to cook, because if it's not, you won't get that browning. It'll steam in the pan and you won't get that color or crispness. So we're going to start browning. And you're going to get some popping. This is still kind of wet from the natural juices and things, so you're going to get some popping. And you can season your food more liberally than I am. So that's a good sound. That's what you want to hear. That's always a good sound. All right. I like to work with my hands. Normally I work with my hands a lot, so feel free. So you know you can place them in the pan. And this is skin side down, obviously, so that we can get it good and brown. Skin side down. You can work with your hands. Just make sure you wash your hands in between. Stay clean. Keep your hands clean and things like that. Okay? Clean as you go. Learn as you go productions, but when you're working, clean as you go. Okay? So remember, these are still contaminated. So I'm going to sit them right there because I'm going to keep turning. But I want to let that kind of go. You don't want to burn it up, so you don't want it to cook too fast or too hot. So it's just going to kind of go, and then I'm going to switch gears back with a fresh cutting board. And I think I'm going to go ahead and wet some more paper towel just to keep that cutting board from sliding. You can use the kitchen towel. Paper towel just really works well for me because I'm already in the process of things I do. I use a lot of towels. I go through a lot of towels. I can actually smell this. You don't want to start playing with it and lifting it up before it's ready. When you're doing protein in a pan like this, it'll let you know when it's ready. It'll lift up. I can kind of see and smell it. Smell-o-vision. Somebody's got to invent that, because a lot of things that you look for, a lot of signs, and it's just a good thing. You'll go by your sense of smell. So I'm going to take this bowl here, and for the bean salad, I got black beans, garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas, and some kidney beans. I like the big ones, the whole kidney beans. I'm going to mix those up. Now, this is a really, really plain salad. Everything we're going to do, this is cilantro. I've already pre-washed it. Cilantro is one of those herbs you can cook with. Remember, I only did vegetables with this. You can cut up the stems, but if you're using parsley and a few other things, you don't want the stems. They'll be bitter. But cilantro is good for that. So, but I like the flavor of cilantro and things. Of course, yes, you got people out there that say, oh, I hate cilantro. It's okay. It's a preference thing. You make this salad whatever you want, whatever you like, however you like. Rough chop, just really quick rough chop. And I do have some parsley. I have flat leaf Italian parsley that I pulled away from the stem. There's a little bit of the stem in there, but not a whole lot. Another rough chop, really good, bright, vibrant flavor. And then I'm going to steal a couple of these peppers because I do want some peppers in there, and I meant to have some separate out for that, but it doesn't take much for this size salad. When you're cutting peppers, when you get to opening it up, you want skin side down, because the skin, I can smell this. I know it needs to be turned. I'm going to stop. So you got that nice brown. Okay, so use whatever citrus you like. I'm going to use some orange and some lime. I'm sorry. Yeah, orange and lime. Just said that out of order. Good juice, a good tool to have. And I'm just going to squeeze it right into the salad. So this is how you do this. You do the cut side down, and then it takes a lot of power. If you had arms day, don't start doing stuff like this, and you already worked them arms out. Alright, so I just need a little bit of the lime juice from one lime. Sometimes you get some really hard limes. Make sure... did you see that? That just squirted all over me. No pun intended. This is a G-rated show. Alright, the orange is kind of big, so I'm just going to get what I can out of that. Because this is a... You can buy a green one for limes, yellow for this. They don't really make them for big fruits, but it's all good. I'm just going to get what I want. And the good thing about using something like this is you're getting those oils from the fruit too. So even if you zest it, which you can use a microplane to do, or just do this, you're getting a really, really good amount, but not too much, of flavor from that fruit. So I'm just going to stir that up. That went to my eye. All right, it's smelling good, looking good. So now use whatever oil you want. I don't get anything from promoting different companies or places. I just use what I like, and I believe in shouting them out. So this is spicy olive oil. They have balsamics and things like that I like. This one is a blood orange just because I like that. It's probably about 2 tablespoons there. And at this point, you just need a little bit of oil for flavor, and that's going to give me some flavor. I got the citrus here. And at that point, I just want, you just get to know, probably a 1/4 teaspoon or a pinch, not even that much salt. And it's Himalayan pink salt that I've been using. And some more of that cracked black pepper. And that's your salad, your bean salad. Something like this with the citrus in it, you don't want to have it hang around for a lot of days or a long time, but definitely make it ahead. And it's really, really good for a protein boost without meat, to have something healthy. Alright, back to the chicken. So the chicken, we got it all browned. Got this layer of the veggies that we chopped. We are going to finish it in the oven, skin side up. We didn't go through all that trouble of getting the skin crispy and brown just to end up with having a soft, soggy skin if we turn it down on all that liquid, all the veggies that's going to release a lot of liquid. So at that point, I am going to just kind of go in between there. This is some prepared marinara. I usually make a marinara ahead and just kind of keep it. There are some that you get by that's really good. This is going to give it some really good flavor and texture. Not much, it's about 1/2 cup. This is some chicken stock. You can use broth or stock. Watch your salt levels when you add stuff. Remember, we're braising. That means you don't use a lot of liquid. You're not covering up your meat when you're braising. You're not covering, and you can braise veggies and stuff, so you're not covering up what you had. And then I have a 1/4 cup here of what I talked about a few minutes ago, the cooking wine, so the white wine. All right, so what's going to happen is I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to cover this up with foil so that it cooks and stays moist. And then at the end of that cooking, I'm going to uncover it so that the skin can still stay crisp and it's going to be all nice and soft and bubbly. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and finish this in the oven, and then we'll come back and see how it finishes with the dishes already done. I'm going to bake this. I like 400. I bake things at high temperatures, kind of. This is going to bake at 400 for about 25 minutes. It's only 4 thighs. It's not going to take a long time. Okay? We'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Just a few little things to finish with. So the chicken thighs cooked. We had them covered at first and then took the covering off so they didn't get all soft and soggy. So got cooked chicken. And all I really wanted to, I'm not going to suggest plating, but you can see there's a lot of liquid release, which is a lot of flavor from the veggies and the wine and just a little bit of color and things from the tomato sauce. So this really isn't about plating at this point. A lot of people get into that, and that's fine. So you just want to make sure you have a nice collection of veggies and that it tastes good, and do whatever you want on the plate. So a good thing that this goes with, you can do it with pasta, but I like stuff like this with rice, or you could do the rice veggies like the rice cauliflower and things like that if you're staying away from carbs or cutting your carbs and things like that. So you could just pair it with whatever you like, whatever you want to do it with. Or don't have any carbs at all and just eat the chicken like that with the bean salad or something else. I didn't do these two together to say that the bean salad goes with this. These were just kind of two things that I kind of had a taste for and thought would be okay for a first video, and to show you guys something that's easy to do. This is something that you can start doing right away, especially the bean salad. You'd be surprised how kids would enjoy this and enjoy the bean salad more than you think. So one thing that I wanted to show you, the very, very last thing, is just a garnish. So we had you guys, I've had those pot holders. My mama gave me those pot holders. I've had those pot holders forever. I need some more, but I love them. I can't get rid of them. They're thick too, and they work. So we had the parsley. We had the cilantro. Now, I like all kinds of herbs and things like that. I even have some Thai basil that I'll probably throw in later, but I didn't think about getting that out to do that now. But also like green onions or scallions. These are not chives. Real scallions are bigger, so what you see in the grocery store are green onions. I cut the top off, the root end top off, and I just cut it in half, and I'm just going to cut it on a bias just so it looks a little bit fancy. And I like all these flavors together. So it's just a little garnish for the beans. You can stir this up, totally stir this in. And it actually tastes good with the chicken if you like green onions. If it's something you don't like, you don't like. So one thing that I will also do that I like, that I know a lot of people don't like, is I would even add mushrooms to the chicken just because I love mushrooms. So that's the first video, first run through here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll get on the post when it's up and everybody's had a chance to see it. Please share, like, get on the posts and ask questions. And I don't always get back to posts the way as fast as I guess some people, and you know, Facebook kind of controls how we see stuff. So if you have a question or you want to talk about what we've done in this video, feel free to tag me so that I'll see it and then I can answer right away. And no question is a dumb question. You might have the same question many people have, or comment, or your own suggestion. I'd like to know what you do for bean salads and things like that. Let's do this all together. So we just want to keep having fun and cook, but you're going to cook with Beena. And I'm going to show you more international stuff and just the way I do things. I have preferences and tastes that, you know, not everybody really likes all the time, but, you know, somebody else might. So I got a couple of things coming up. I'm always available to do the meal prep if you want to do that. It doesn't have to be just healthy meal prep. If you just need meals and you want it to be whatever you want, we can work that out. Brunch with Beena, that's going to be a monthly thing. It does not have to be women only. Brunch is not a ladies thing. So bring your husbands, boyfriends, bring the kids, family, and we'll just keep it going, have some good conversation, good food. And mimosas. Start your day, your Saturdays off good with that, and we can just get together and just kind of chill out and eat. The next one is December 15th. Save the date or register now. I didn't create an Eventbrite link so you could actually go in and kind of follow the steps that way, so you can just really just register and pay directly, or it's created as an event with Facebook, but there's no link, so the information is there for you to send the payment for registration. And then I have all kind of merchandise and things, other stuff coming. So I look forward to your support and for us to have fun. And like I said, first of many videos.